Hello people and welcome to the first episode of under 20 minutes solo runs. So after the pain that was the Trico run, I decided to give me some relief with an easy run, or at least what I think will be an easy run. But first of all, I realized that the video is longer than 20 minutes and some might already call me out for clickbaiting. No worries, here's the timer. It will start once the run itself starts. Before that, I need 1 minute to explain the rule set since it might differ from what you expect. No items in battle and no overleveling are common and essential restrictions to make any Pokémon run actually challenging, so nothing new here. But there are 3 really important additional rules. I will only use Seviper as a species, but nothing stops me from training as many as I want. This doesn't mean I can use a team of 6 snakes to win a battle, I'm still bound to a single Seviper for each fight. I'm allowed to breed, which not only gives me access to the egg moves, but it also helps a lot finding Pokémon with better stats. In order to breed, I must have access to both parent species, and if I desire a particular egg move, it must be learned by the father within the level cap. Lastly, both TMs and Tutor moves are infinite. This rule set allows a great variety of strategies, which I think is really important to keep the game interesting, while not giving up on the challenge aspect. Obviously Seviper is a great Pokémon compared to what I'm used to, and therefore I don't foresee too many obstacles in the way. 458 base stats is great, and I can't wait to play with a Pokémon with 100 base attack and special attack, especially given its learn set. Flamethrower, Giga Drain and Crunch are all excellent special moves, and paired with strong physical moves like Sludge Bomb, Return and later on Earthquake, I'm sure I won't complain about coverage. The egg moves are a bit of a letdown since they only consist in Body Slam and the stockpile moves. I mean, the stockpile moves help in the Gulping run, but they are very situational. I guess we'll see. Without further ado, let the timer start and let's start the run. After resetting a few times searching a Seviper with decent stats, I find this one. It's naughty, so more attack and less special defense, and overall her IVs are pretty good. I call her Ekans because I'm so funny and original, and then I move towards the first gym. Seviper starts with only Wrap, but it gets Bite at level 10, and due to my really above average stats for this point of the game, you see that Roxanne is a cakewalk. Roxanne's AI makes it even easier, because Nosepass will never use Rock Tomb unless I'm faster or in kill range, so it just uses Tackle, if not Block or Harden, which is completely useless since Dark type moves are all special in Generation 3. Anyway, moving on to Broly, it's another easy fight, but I need to point out 2 things. One is that you will see on the right the IV and EV of the Pokémon I'm using for every major fight, and you can already see that I'm investing a lot on Ekans attack. The reason for such a boosted attack, despite how early in the run we are, is that I picked up the EXP share already, and thanks to that I can get 1 attack EV from Wild Poochyena at the cost of just 7 experience points. Meanwhile, you're seeing Broly sending out his ace, Makuhita, and this leads us to thing number 2. Not because it's hard or anything, we resist all of his moves, but he's holding a citrus berry and Seviper can learn Thief, so I made sure to steal the citrus berry before brutally murdering it with a critical Poison Tail. Not sure if the crit mattered or not, but let's move on. The Slatebot rival has a Marshtomp with Mudshot, and that's probably our first worthy opponent, so it deserves some of our precious time. May leads with Lambre, which doesn't need any comment, and then Marshtomp comes out. We are faster and I wanted to see how much damage Poison Tail deals, and even if not super effective, I was honestly expecting a bit more. And a bit less from Mudshot. Having access to Citrus Berry so early is really broken though, so we can recover pretty much all of that damage, but once I become slower, I'm just dead. So while I'm still faster, I fish for a flinch from Bite, and it seems like Lady Luck is smiling because not only I get the flinch, but Bite crits too. The rest of the battle is really easy, but I have to admit I lost once. Probably I should have gone all the way to level 24, but I'll just take the second try victory as it is. While I was still in Slatepot, I made sure to buy an Arbomale, and once I reach Mauville, I can trade it for the coin case. As I mentioned before, Seviper can learn Flamethrower, and its base special attack is just as good as its attack, so we have a really solid Magneton answer. After EV training a bit more to outspeed Watson's Pokémon, we can go and face him. After all the runs I did, I learned to hate his Voltorb, but this time I can get my sweet revenge, watching him die to a single Poison Tail. Against Electrike I don't want to give it a chance to trigger his static, so I use Flamethrower. It one-shots, probably a range but not really sure. What I'm sure is that Magneton is going down in one hit, so we can face the Manectric at full HP. I go for Screech to boost my Poison Tail damage, and Manectric, as expected, goes for Thunder Wave. The AI really hates to be slower, and that's one thing we are going to exploit every time we get the chance. Anyway, one Poison Tail is still not enough, so I decide to soften him up with Bite, which has that really nice flinch chance. No flinch, no static proc, but Thunder Wave again. Should be fine, now we one shot, but that damage from Shockwave. Our naughty nature is already starting to give some trouble. I can't go face Flannery's overheat spam with Ekans, that's for sure. So, since I can now catch a Seviper, I put 2 of them in the daycare and breed for a new snake friend. But while the snakes make love to each other, we have to face Maxi at Mount Chimney. The fight is not hard, mainly because Camerupt doesn't always go for Magnitude, and unless it high rolls, it won't one-shot Ekans. A Magnitude 7 is almost enough it seems. I really keep overestimating Seviper's bulk, but thankfully we have Crunch, which, thanks to an actually really clutch special defense drop, is going to take down Camerupt in 2 hits. Zubat is Zubat, so we can skip straight to Flannery. The safest way to approach this fight would be to find a Seviper with a water hidden power, but I don't like doing that if there are more creative options available. And since we now have access to the move Tutor, let's get creative with Mimic. Numel has Magnitude, but it seemed like it was picking random moves, so it took few tries until it actually used it turn 1. Return always puts Numel in healing range, so we can Mimic Magnitude on the healing turn and then use it right after. We low roll a 6, but it's still enough. Hoping not to roll a 4 or a 5, I should give a proper presentation to Snike while he deals with Flannery. His stats are good and I made sure to boost his special defense along with his attack, but I feel like I won't use him a lot. Seems like a really niche stat distribution. Anyway, we need at least 2 Magnitude 7 against Torkoal, that's the most common value, and we get an 8 plus a 7, so after tanking fairly well on overhit, we are good to go. We now have half of the badges, but that's gonna change soon. Seviper can learn Dig and with proper training is able to outspeed every single one of Norman's Pokémon, so as long as we get past the first 3 of them, the slaking should be free. So we need a Seviper with good attack and speed. I believe we already have something for that. Witness the return of the naughty Ekans, that with his Persim Berry has no fear of a stupid spin that Tutor dancing. Well, Psybeam is a bit scarier, I basically wasted my held item. If Norman doesn't crit or high rolls all of his attacks, we should be able to make it. That Psybeam feels even more unlucky since return was arranged to kill, but it is what it is. Vigoroth is a 2-hit KO, so we have to tank one hit, no way around it, but if these 33 HP are enough to survive a hit from Linoone, we will be okay. Right now I wish we had a Citrus Berry kept, but Linoone for some reason just tried to set up a belly drum, which doesn't even work because return put him into red. I checked afterwards and his highest damage roll was 31, so it makes sense that he tried to use a setup move. Just AI things. As I said before, I have Dig and I'm faster, so Slaking cannot hit me. It's just a bit tedious, but it's a foolproof way to take him down, and that's all I need. Beating Norman is good for 2 reasons. One is that now I have my physical defense boosted by his badge, and the other is that now there's a guy in Dewford that will give the player the TM for Sludge Bomb. Seviper doesn't learn it by leveling up, but since in this type of challenges I consider TMs infinite, I'm okay with that. And both things are going to be helpful against Winona. But first, I have to at least show the second round against Maze Marshtomp. Lombre and Slugma are not an issue, and return makes the scary Marshtomp trivial as well. A single mass shot deals a lot of damage, but one speed drop is not enough to make me slower, so it's an easy to hit KO with return. For the next and last rival fight I will have the TM for Giga Drain, so I won't be showcasing that. Say goodbye to May, you won't be seeing her for the rest of the video. After a quick but important trip to Lilikov and some moveset adjustment, I'm ready to fight Winona, with none other than our beloved Ekans. With Sludge Bomb, Ekans' high attack can now really shine. One-shotting a Swablu is nothing to be praised for, it's balling if anything, but hey, who am I to judge a snake having some playtime with a bird? Altair is second and Earthquake is scary, especially combined with Dragon Dance, but Ekans never even dies to a +1 attack Earthquake, while Sludge Bomb is always a 2-hit KO. 33 HP are not a lot, but Skarmory is second and I should always leave a hit unless it crits, so I just go for a Flamethrower, knowing it won't one-shot. The plan was a bit different, but I got really screwed by the other Winona's Pokémon are coming out. I guess it makes sense to send the Steel type first against a Poison type. Duly noted. Anyway, while Winona heals, I heal too with rest, that's what the trip to Lilycove was about, and I wake up immediately thanks to a Chesto Berry. With this amount of HP, there's no way I lose, so Skarmory goes down to 2 Flamethrower, and then, despite an accuracy drop from Sand Attack, I don't miss a Sludge Bomb against Tropius, and finally Pelipper gets the same treatment thanks to a crit. Not bad at all, but we gotta hurry. The Team Aqua and Magma part is a bit tedious and not interesting, but I think the Maxi fight is worth showing. While we get to that, I want to briefly talk about Tate and Liza. The Psychic Gym is obviously problematic for a Poison type, even for Seviper with its good stats and coverage. But the real problem is that Tate and Liza force the player to a double battle, which, paired with my level cap rule, makes it sometimes impossible without a proper second Pokémon. Needless to say that no level 42 Poison type that isn't immune to ground moves can play around Psychic and Earthquake spam from Claydol. All this to say that I will be using 2 Sevipers for that fight only. I always allowed myself to use 2 Pokémon for the 7 gym if needed, and I managed to 2v1 quite some times. I just want to clarify that I didn't make up this rule just for the occasion. With that out of the way, let's see what we can do against Maxi. Good old Ekans is really good for this, but again I had to adjust her moveset a bit. I'm gonna open the battle with Hidden Power. I think it's water with 30 base power, but I'm just using it to waste a turn while my Tiana slows me down with Scary Face. It misses, but I achieve my goal on the second turn. Now that I'm slower, I can expect a Swagger. That's how Maxi plays 95% of the times. I get the Swagger attack boost and the Persian Berry cures the confusion, but then I miss Glare. So I lose some HP from takedown, but then Glare hits and now I'm faster again, which means my Tiana will go back to Scary Face. A Pokémon behind a substitute cannot be affected by stat drops, so the Scary Face fails and I can finish off my Tiana with Return. Second is Camerupt, but I'm at +1 attack and despite the speed drop I'm faster, so I can safely one-tap it with Return. Crobat is last, but he can't do anything more than breaking my substitute before going down in a single return. Pretty nice and simple AI manipulation right there. And on the same note we can now watch the fight versus Tate and Liza. I had to breed a new Seviper. Aznek is fast and has good special stats. She's going to be the main damage dealer. Ekans, on the other hand, thanks to her naughty nature, is gonna play the bait game. The thing is that Claydol will always use Earthquake unless it sees a kill with another move, and Ekans' really low special defense puts her into Claydol's Psychic range. So Ekans can bait both Psychic on the first turn while protecting herself. A crunch from Aznek always puts Satu in healing range, so he won't be attacking on the next turn. We can use the occasion to double up on Claydol and kill it before it attacks, and then Lunatone comes out. We are going to play it exactly the same. Ekans uses Protect, and Crunch puts Xatu back into potion range. So while Xatu is healed, we can once again double up on the other Pokémon to take it down. Solrock comes out last and his special attack is really bad compared to the other mons, so it's time to take down Xatu. Since both my Seviper are out of Solrock's skill range, it will 100% of the times use Sunny Day. Really helpful, assuming snakes like the sun the same way lizards do. I don't know if that's true, but I know that Solrock was really worthless and we won without losing a single HP. I usually love this double battle, but this time it was kind of a letdown. Too easy with 2 Seviper, impossible with just 1. Anyway, since the Archie fight is easily done with the same strategy used against Maxi, we can now skip to the last gym leader of the region, Juan. And to deal with him, we have none other than our beloved Ekans, with yet another moveset adjustment. Love Disc is out first, but it's not even faster, so it goes down in a single Sludge Bomb. Whiscash comes out second, since it can threaten with Earthquake, but even without any particular EV training on her special attack, Ekans is able to one-shot it with Giga Drain. Or not. Well, I guess the level advantage is huge, so Earthquake doesn't even bring us down to red. After an Hyper Potion is used, we can see that Giga Drain was arranged to kill as we land it for the one-shot, and next is Kindra. It can be pretty scary with Double Team and Rest, but after using Screech a single time, one Sludge Bomb should do the trick. If I can hit it. Really hate missing a bunch due to Double Team. Eventually the Sludge Bomb connects, and now thanks to Giga Drain we can take down the remaining Celio and Crodant, finishing the battle at full HP. With all the gyms defeated, we can now move towards the Pokémon League, and this means we have to face Wally. You see that Ekans is not even at the level cap, that's how confident I am. Altaria will go down into Sludge Bombs, but before that it managed to land a critical Dragon Breath that thankfully didn't paralyze me. Even after the berry proc, we are absolutely dead to Gardevoir Psychic, but for some reason Wally's Gardevoir, no matter what, always uses Future Sight on turn 1, and a Sludge Bomb plus Poison takes it down. The rest of Wally's team is not even close to being a threat, but at least we get to use Earthquake once. Amazing move, but surprisingly not so helpful in this kind of runs. We might use it once more, but we'll see. Anyway, the Future Sight doesn't even hit, 80% accuracy by the way, and one shot after one shot, we are past Wally. After training 5 new Seviper for the Pokémon League, each one of them with their own level cap based on the opponent, we can take on the League Challenge. Sydney is first with his annoying Mightyena. But we are going to take out the annoying part. A white herb restores the attack drop from Intimidate, and thanks to Taunt we can prevent him to use Sand Attack, which we'll pretty much always try to use on turn 1. Then a Sludge Bomb deals a really good amount of damage, but we have to tank a Double Edge, which puts Mightyena into healing range due to the recoil damage. I go for Giga Drain to restore my HP, which is a greedy play since I don't really need to do it, and as I go for Sludge Bomb to finish him off, Sydney switches to Shift Ray. It might look like a fluke since Shift Ray gets deleted, but that was guaranteed anyway, and now Mightyena comes out again, so our attack is once again dropped by Intimidate, and I have no way to recover this time. I have no trouble taking it down, and same thing for the Cacturne, which still dies to a single Sludge Bomb, and the Crawdaunt, which dies to a couple of Giga Drains. But then Absol comes out, and even if I can expect a Swords Dance, I can't two-shot it, so I must be able to tank a hit after the attack buff. Giga Drain should heal me enough to get me out of kill range, and it seems like it was the right play. Sludge Bomb deals a decent amount of damage, and Absol sets up another Swords Dance instead of attacking. He Citrus Berry proc though, so this is going to be really close. Really close indeed. Let's do it again, just without using Giga Drain on Mightyena. If I use a move that is resisted by another Pokémon in my opponent's team, there's a chance he switches into it. The fight is exactly the same, except that this time I'm gonna win. It seems like a good moment to precise that I don't save between battles, so if I lose, I have to start over again. My strategy must be as reliable as possible as a result. Speaking of reliable strategies, let's see how we do against Phoebe. We can't one-shot her Dusclops, and it often uses Curse, so it's another good moment to showcase how good of a move is Taunt. We don't get a flinch from Bite, but Shadow Punch doesn't do much, so we'll be able to tank on Earthquake from the remaining Dusclops later. We have Speed Banette, and we do not. I must have miscalculated my speed value. Losing so much HP from Psychic probably doomed this attempt, but let's at least try. Against Dusclops we must go for the flinch with Bite, and we actually get it. But once the Citrus Berry activates, not even Crunch would kill, so I have to go for the flinch again or we lose. Well, that wasn't a flinch, but it works. The second Banette has a minus speed nature, so we can safely one-shot it, but Sableye is next and Nightshade obviously kills. I go for the flinch, double team. No idea why, but on the second turn we can just barely take it down with Crunch. Unbelievable luck, and all because I had a slightly wrong EV value on my speed. Whatever, we are running out of time, let's go face Glacia. First is Celia, which will always use Hail, so I go for Sludge Bomb to put it into full restore range. I keep attacking while Glacia heals, but on the last turn I go for Giga Drain to heal back the Hail damage. Second is Glalie, and I must prevent the speed drop from Icy Wind, and the best way to do so is hitting an Iron Tail. We managed to land it, 75% chance, and next is Celia. This one is going to use Blizzard, but even if it lands, I just need it to not crit or freeze. We are not so unlucky, and a double Giga Drain does the job, healing us back in the process. Now, since the hail stopped, Lily will set it up again, which gives us the chance to soften her up with Giga Drain. Now a Sludge Bomb will be enough to kill, and last is Wall Rain. First I need to land a Screech, and then, after dodging a crit and a freeze from Ice Beam, one Sludge Bomb, thanks to the Poison Barb I'm holding, will always kill in a single hit. Iron Tail and Screech could have missed, but easy fight overall. And the Drake fight is going to be even easier, but for the wrong reasons. It was pretty much impossible to play around Drake's team, so I had to resort to a Seviper with an Ice-type Hidden Power. Using Hidden Power with such a decent Pokémon is so lame that I decided to name it Anagram. It doesn't even deserve to be part of this stupid nickname theme properly. Anyway, as you can see, everything is a one-shot, but obviously Kindra is not. I was hoping to see Salamence first, but hopefully this will work out just fine. Same strategy I used against one Kindra, except that I also need to use the Giga Drain first, which not only ensures me the kill on the next turn, but also gets me out of Surf kill range. The crit wasn't needed, Sludge Bomb would have been enough anyway, but okay. Salamence is extra dead twice and we can move on. But first I need to show you something. This is a screenshot taken from the daycare simulator I made for my challenges. The column on the right reports the IV rolled based on the Gen 3 breeding mechanics. Yes, those values actually happened. The number on the bottom right represents the amount of rolls, and if over 700 might seem like a lot, it's nothing compared to the actual chances of getting those values. So, screw the lame nickname team and say hello to the God Viper. Even with those monstrous stats, this strategy is not reliable, but it's the best I could come up with. Going into the battle with this amount of HP ensures a Water Spout from Wailord, but after a Giga Drain, Wailord doesn't have much HP left, so Water Spout is very much weakened. It also seems like that was a really high Giga Drain roll, and Wailord is in full restore range, so I'm just going to set up my substitute while Wallace heals. Another Giga Drain mitigates once again the Water Spout damage, and now he should start using Blizzard. It might miss, so I'm going to set up substitutes until that happens. My chances are actually pretty good, but as I said, not reliable. Going against everything I know about the AI in this game, Wailord inexplicably decides to use Water Spout again and gets a really low roll since he doesn't even break my substitute. A substitute up is all I needed, so now I can take down Wailord. Second is Gyarados, but Intimidate doesn't go through a substitute, so 2 Sludge Bombs are going to be enough. I have no way to avoid getting Earthquake once, and that's what the substitute was for. Whiscash is up next, but this time we have a Miracle Seed equipped and enough special attack to ensure a one-shot with Giga Drain. Tentacruel comes out and gives me another chance to use a really satisfying Earthquake. That was for the Trick run, stupid jellyfish. Ludicolo has to face an obvious destiny and Milotic is last. A double Sludge Bomb is always enough to kill and we never die to surf, so we are one non-critical hit away from finishing the run, and we do. So let's stop the timer. It seems like we were actually able to make it in less than 20 minutes. I honestly wasn't sure about it. I hope you all enjoyed the run. I had a really good time playing it. From time to time, it feels good to not struggle every single fight. There are quite a few Pokémon without evolution and really decent base stats that don't really fit with my usual solo runs, so if you like this one, I will probably do something similar in the future. As usual, any feedback is appreciated. I'm always happy to read a comment under one of my videos, and I'm really trying to improve the quality of my content. Might try a special Nuzlocke next time, or maybe it will be another starter solo run, not sure yet. For now, back to theory crafting.